Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Little Bit of Magic. I am Dr. Sarah Allen. I am a doctor of Chinese medicine. I am a storyteller, a healer, and a seeker of inspiration. And this show brings you inspiration, healing, and unexpected connections all around the world. And today, I'm so thrilled because we get to encompass all three in one episode with our guest, Jeff Primack. Jeff Primack is a Qigong master, teacher, author, the founder of Qi Revolution. He has literally taught tens of thousands of students all around the world. And I am just thrilled and honored to have you on the show with me today, Jeff.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Great. And I have to divulge that I was actually at your 2015 Chi Revolution conference in Orlando, Florida. I was a beginning practitioner. I'm 10 years into my practice as a Chinese medicine doctor, but I was in school in Miami at the time. I had finished my massage license, and I knew the importance of Qigong because it is a foundation of our medicine. It was only briefly touched upon in my education, but my father decades ago had taught me the importance of qigong. He's a dairy farmer, um, Catholic
That's an
turned Buddhist.
interesting mix right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he used to tell me that he practiced qigong in the garden in the mornings and could lower his blood pressure by 20 or 30 points. And I thought he was crazy at the time. I didn't know what qigong was, but in the meantime, he's shared with me, given me qi books,
Qi
qi
Journal, that's a
and
good
all.
one. I've interviewed in there. Those are classic.
Have
A lot of great
you,
books in Qigong, aren't there?
yeah, so many. Um, so thank you. And I think qigong is very esoteric. It's an esoteric concept for many people. I talk to my patients about it. Many have never heard of qigong. They don't really understand the concept of qi or how acupuncture works. So in your words, and I know qi in Chinese really literally translates as life force, energy, breath, and gong translates to skill and practice and mastery. I mean, what is qigong to you, and how would you define it?
To me, Qi is energy or life force, and Gong means discipline. And interesting, in pranayama, which is something I'm trained highly in also, which is the yogic breath work from India, and Qigong is from China, right? So I think Qigong's more conservative, right? So they're Qi discipline. And then pranayama, yama means discipline. I was like, what do you
Oh,
mean? Yama and Gong mean the same thing? Yeah, they do. It's discipline. One's from India, one's from China. But the idea of the Qi, what is it? It's the life force that we emit a light from our bodies of like actual photons. We're emitting light. And when we increase that light, our blood circulation improves. So the first thing I say to my students is chi is blood flow. And when you increase your chi, you can feel your blood flow is increasing. Acupuncture does this, as you know, you're an acupuncture physician. But the acupuncture is a needle on a meridian, and the qigong is like using your breath and your hand movements and things to move the energy yourself. So I would say qigong is the discipline. There's that word again, discipline. If you don't do it, it doesn't work. It's a discipline of circulating qi, and this qi could be defined as oxygen. It could also be defined as blood flow. It could be defined as heat, which is why Qigong masters typically don't bathe in the ice or do ice bathing or all this like trendy stuff, because they're trying to get the Qi into the bone marrow. And so there's this whole emphasis on Chinese medicine is really kind of the system I kind of ascribe to. So Qi deals with warmth, blood flow, not aging, really. It's about how not to age.
hmm. Yeah, I remembered when I was a teacher, or when I was going to school, the teachers of Chinese medicine from China. I had many from China that came from lineage, and they were so emphatic about their qi and the power of their qi and how it would influence treatment. And I remember when I was doing, if I do qigong regularly, after I attended your qigong conference, I was right. So I actually attended another Qigong conference with you in Eugene. I practice in Bend, Oregon. And when I came back, the owner of the clinic where I was working said, and I was giving her an acupuncture treatment, said, Sarah, are you doing Qigong? And I said, yes. And I said, how do you know? She said, because I can feel it. I can feel it in your treatment. And I can also feel it when I receive acupuncture if I'm
Mm.
doing Qigong regularly. I can feel, like you said, like oxygen running from point to point or through meridian to meridian. And if I'm not regularly doing that, I don't feel that same level. And so I think what you said was really beautiful to explain it. It's just so powerful and definitely improves our longevity. There's so much research behind it.
I've
What
spent a lot of my life, Sarah, trying to convince people that chi is real,
uh-huh.
and then really what it comes down to is until you do the practices, you may not believe it. And then if you feel it, you believe it. And then better is if you can even see it. Some people see the chi. I think that takes a lot of energy to build up enough to where you can see it. But Jesus talks about that in the Bible when the body is filled with light. There's this Christ quotes the body being filled with light a lot. To me, this light is the chi. It's super obvious. He was a healer. For me, the whole premise of chi being whether it's real or not, well, then how could you even believe in any religion without an awareness of a miraculous energy that animates all of us? Because in scriptures, it really is clear that the chi is real.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Are you able to see that you're a master? Are you able
yeah,
to see
I'm a
chi?
big visual chi seer, and if when I get asked, how did you get involved in qigong? What made you decide to do this with your life? For me, that she was as daily to this day so visual, right? So, and I like to practice at night under the
Okay.
stars a lot. That's my style. As I've gotten older, I've liked to do night practices because I see more energy when there's less light out. So, not everybody sees the chi. They're looking for this light like a flashlight. It's not the same light that's in this world, but we are emitting, and there are research studies talking about this. They call it subtle light, where we're emitting, uh, it's indetectable to most people. But I am teaching people how to see the chi. I have been successful with some people. Not everyone's going to see it. That's just the way life goes. Um, but we're our
What does it look
frequency.
like?
What's that?
What does it look like to
Well,
you?
our
What do you see?
frequency range is limited, Sarah, right? So we can see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and we might see ultraviolet and infrared if you're talented, right? But you can't go outside of this range very easily. Um, I believe that doing the nine breath method and doing Qigong that I've been doing for 25 years is, but it worked right away. Okay. So it didn't take me 25 years to see the Qi. I saw the Qi immediately when I started practicing. And then when I did the nine breath method, it's very textured, very instant when you swallow the air and drop it down. Like, boom, the visuals just kicked right in for me. And I'm like, oh, wow, the visuals come right at that moment. It's obviously that this is a scientific phenomenon. This isn't about what you believe. This is about you just took an ass load of oxygen, you held it for a few seconds, you dropped it down. Then the visuals happen. For me, it becomes scientific. So I equate the visuals with a higher degree of being in the chi. And so not everybody gets the visuals and that's okay. I think but almost everybody can feel the chi in a way that's very convincing pretty much. It's like, "Oh wow, that was blasted my body with waves of heat and awesome feelings." That's indisputable. What I just felt is indisputable. But then maybe later, people practice, they can learn to see it.
And what sparked your interest in Qigong? How did you first start learning?
I started from books, so you held up some good books. I was in college. 1996, 97, getting into Montauk Chia. By the way, I mean, even if he's kind of an old guy now, he's still the godfather of Qigong. I read Montauk Chia's books in my dorm room, and there's got this old school little drawing with dots up the guy's back and dots down the front of his body. And I'm like in my dorm, just like, okay, I'm just trying to grasp this from his books. Qi Gong was book for a couple years, and then I learned with a guy named Leonard Orr. He's considered the founder of rebirthing. You may refer to that. So Leonard, I stayed at his house for 3 weeks and had a bunch of visions, kind of psychedelic experiences, drug-free, by the way, just mind-blowing, you know, spiritual, healing my asthma, light expanding through my body, deciding I wasn't going to be a business guy for the stock market. I was going to be a breath person. All of that happened because of my teachings with Leonard Orr, which is rebirthing. And uh, if you know anything about rebirthing, people have cathartic experiences when they do it. And I saw rebirthing, and I was like, in the year like 1999, so it was right around before I started my business. And I said, this is the best fucking thing since sliced bread. This this is a hot product right here. I started showing it to my college dorm friends. I was like, "Hey, you guys got to try this. Hey, you got to try this." Everybody was like, "Wow, that's the best drug that I've ever tried." Literally, So I in college, a lot of it had to do with like what is going to what do people really want? And in college, you're so ADD and slow. So I was so magnetized by this breath work, it gave a better feeling than anything I had ever experienced in my life. So I just wanted to share it.
And so how did you grow into Chi Revolution? How did that start? How did you realize that you needed to bring this to the world?
The revolution didn't happen right away, as you can imagine. Revolutions take planning. Um, right around the year 2000, I started bringing in different Qigong masters from China and other countries. I brought in a guy who claimed not to eat food for months at a time. He was a breatharian. I brought in a guy who I brought in guys who claim they can heat shit up to 300 degrees with their goddamn hands. And I got it. I brought in guys that claimed they could get in the ice for an hour, and they could do that. Certain things were BS, my point, and certain things were real,
You had Tom Tam, remember him? He was
Tom
at your Chi.
Tam, yes!
I bought his
Tom
book.
Tam, who claims that he helped a lot of cancer patients with his distant acupuncture. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, Tom Tam was my guest. I've brought in over 20 Qigong masters onto my stages. I've seen all of them are human, including myself. We all make mistakes. We all burp from time to time. We all do the same kind of things. But a Qigong master is like somebody who enters a special state, right? You're like, okay, if you're claiming to be an expert of Qigong, then you've mastered the energy to a certain degree. And my experience is I judge this differently than most people. I'm judging it by the anti-aging effects I see in that master, right? Are they sick themselves? Do they need glasses? Are they losing all their hair? Are they looking old? I'm sorry, I'm very vain, and I work with a lot of different experts of Qigong. And so the ones that I feel like really understood it, I studied with them longer, and I would be like, okay, what is it that they are doing that's
Hmm.
keeping them young and healthy, right? And what's destroying, because we're all getting hit by something: stress, disease, poor food, poor choices of some kind. It's very rare for even a Qigong master or teacher of legendary status to make perfect choices. So, and I feel like the thing that drew me in to this was it definitely works. Qi
Mm.
Gong definitely works. At the end of the day, I was training with guys in their 70s that, like, I wasn't seeing American humans that could perform this way, and I wanted it myself. And, so the Qi revolution really didn't happen until like 5 years of this, constantly bringing in new teachers all the time, getting all these downloads from all these teachers. And then around 2004, I started creating my form, had my own workshops for the first time, so 4 years into it. And then uh, I created the Chi Revolution, and we started having hundreds of people at the events and eventually even thousands, which your event that you went to, is really big. I think that it would have never gotten to that point if the exercises themselves didn't kind of blow people's minds.
Mhm.
People were there. Oh, there's 1,000 of us. We're all dressed nice. Okay, but
Yeah.
does it work? And the end of the day, Qigong is the most powerful healing art that I've ever done.
I have to share with you that at your Chi Revolution conference, I met a gentleman who was a veteran of the Iraqi war. He was paralyzed from the waist down. He had been shot in the back. I don't know if you had the opportunity to meet him, but he talked to me and told me that the only thing that helped him feel sensation in his lower limbs was Qigong. And that to me was so powerful. My father, who's had multiple strokes, unfortunately, he's in a wheelchair himself. He's not able to walk, but and even before when he was completely paralyzed in the hospital, he was doing qigong with just visualization and telling me that he could start to feel the sensation and he was able to feel the chi within his body just with breathing and visualization. And so the power of healing is so profound. So thank you for bringing this to the world.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know what I'd be doing if it wasn't for Qigong, and I know I'd be in worse shape than I am. I mean,
Well, you look younger. I think you've actually look younger than you did in 2015, so I think it must be working.
thank you.
What?
It is. I feel like it is. And in addition to not having like a major disease, like I don't even have any aches and pains in my body. And I feel like that's due to an alchemical biological process that happens when you practice every day and you're oxygenating your tissues, you're moving your blood flow. And this Qigong's really just a form of exercise, but it's an exercise that does reverse aging and keeps us from wear and tear on our body.
Right. And now modern research is coming up with a lot of health benefits with Qigong that it can help improve lung function, lower cortisol levels, lower stress hormones, improve longevity, helping with, like you said, with musculoskeletal conditions or just circulation where we're not feeling as many aches and pains.
Hmm.
Um, are there other things that you've noticed just medicinally and whether it could be spiritually, emotionally, mental, physical?
How about athletically? I'll start there. So, like, if you're
Okay.
trying to do push-ups, right? I like to do
Mhm.
push-ups. So, if you do push-ups and you do like 9 breath method first, you can do way more. And if you do 9 breath method after push-ups, you can do them again sooner. So, there's this whole endurance thing, right? Like, oh, do I have the energy to complete my task? Do a breathing exercise, but do one that works. Do one that isn't going to deplete you because some of them are depletive. I think, obviously, I'm biased. I think the 9 breath method is the best. But I've used it to do a lot of push ups, 750 in 2 hours. So it has
You
this whole
have done that
physical
many
750.
in 2 hours?
Yeah, all the way up, all the way down.
Are you in the Guinness Book of World Records?
No, because the Guinness Book of World Records beats mine by a tremendous amount. I am nothing in the Guinness Book. They would put me as
That's
like
incredible.
I'm like 1 millionth place in the Guinness Book. But there's guys doing about 20,000 plus, just so you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Aware. Huh.
Yeah, but none of that would be possible. Even those guys, I'm sure they might not be using my breathing technique. I use the 9 breath method to do mine. I don't think they go all the way up and all the way down like I do. I think that the breathing allows me to do it. And, I mean, if you look at, a lot of these now you see a lot of Hollywood celebrities are getting into breath work, and I mean the word's getting out that breath work is not just some woo-woo thing. It allows you to go out and maybe perform, physically better in whatever you're doing, sexually better, energetically in your work, right? Your focus, like, oh, I'm not concentrating on my creative episodes. My mind's not thinking of a solution. Try breathing, try to do the breathing technique, because when your brain actually consumes like 30% of your oxygen of the whole body, is the brain's kind of hogging it. So we know how much the brain is affiliated with oxygen consumption. And of course, if you can take in a bigger burst of oxygen rapidly, you're going to have deep insight. That's how I see
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
right. I noticed after I went to your Chi Revolution, I went to a yoga class in Miami, and I wouldn't call myself a stellar yogi, but people came. I tried to infuse Chi practice and the breathing into my yoga practice, and I had never had so many people come up and tell me your practice is absolutely beautiful. And I swear the only reason was because I was incorporating Qi
Nine
Gong
breath
in my
method,
night and breath method and just trying to infuse Qi into the practice. Because as you had taught that you can do Qi Gong when you're walking, you can
right?
do it within your daily things. You don't have to necessarily do it just as a standalone method, correct?
Right. The real Qigong is happening 24/7, even in our sleep. Maybe not with a standing Qigong form in our sleep, right? We're not like doing yoga and Qigong in our dreams, but to be aware of ourself as an energetic being in our dreams. I'm going to be teaching that at the upcoming event. Yeah, the real Qigong is all day and even all night.
That's fantastic. And you do have an upcoming event, and I will be attending the 2015 Chi Revolution Conference in Las Vegas. 2015, sorry, 2025. I'm living in the past a
It's
little
all
bit.
right. This one's going to be better than the one 10 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, we're unfiltered now. This is totally off the filter. Um, as you know, it's not for continuing education credit hours. I'm not being constrained by the boards. I am teaching at a deeper level, not only the breath work, the Qigong, but I'm talking about the biblical quotes on longevity, biblical food, biblical Qi passages. I'm talking about I Qigong, how to see the Qi. These are things I've never, ever in 25 years been able to teach, because the continuing education boards are not going to go for this kind of a curriculum. So this is like going off the script of what I normally get to teach, and I'm really motivated because like every qigong teacher, qigong master is going to die one day. All of us, no matter how black my hair is, I ain't going to stay here forever. I want to pass my best teachings on, especially after 25 years. You get to a place where you're like, I want to do something different. You've taught all these people. Now, what do you really care about? Well, I want to focus on teaching people, like, I think Tantra is a big thing. People lose energy in relationships. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how to not wear glasses. I want to talk about how to see the cosmic living energy around us, because we're all emitting it. It's just outside our frequency range. So I want to serve food, I'm going to be serving food, breakfast and lunch, and smoothies. Um, I'm going to be talking about protocols for cancer, diabetes, asthma, heart disease. Uh, I'm going to be more unhinged, more unfiltered than I've ever been. It's Las Vegas, I mean, I don't know if that means anything, but it seems like this is the place to go off script and be unfiltered. So Yeah.
It sounds so exciting. I know I was really attracted to the lucid dreaming. There you have a segment on lucid dreaming
Hmm.
and how Qi Gong can enhance that. Can you speak to that at all? That was really
Sure.
interesting.
So dreaming is, first of all, it's in scripture. It's in the Old Testament and the New Testament, numerous times where disciples of the Lord did a different thing based on a dream they had. They got warned in a dream, oh, don't go down this way, and they went to a different city instead. So dreams are often prophetic, and if we don't know that, you need to know that they are, right? Not always. Sometimes they're just dumb, right? Somebody's head explodes as blueberries, and you're like, that meant nothing. Why did I dream that? You know? But oftentimes dreams are telling of maybe what's in our subconscious, but I say if you fly in dreams, do you ever fly, Sarah?
Yes, I fly a lot. Yeah, and
Do you?
I fly up above the ceiling and I actually can make myself stay up there for a while. And it's not necessarily that high, but up to the ceiling. And
All right, so let's talk about that for a second, just in itself,
okay.
okay? So
Uh,
I'll give some free information here for the people watching that is juicy. You did not have a normal dream if you flew like that, okay? That's not a normal dream, and it's very good to be, first of all, even half of humanity right now, from my surveying, right? I mean, that's half of my client base, okay? Which, I have trained hundreds of students like on a weekly basis. They're telling me every dream they have, right? And everything about them. And some of them just really don't dream until they see me. And then they come to Hawaii and they do Qigong. And then they're like, oh, I had all these crazy dreams. And I'm like, the land sometimes can activate a dream, right? So where you're sleeping can activate a dream, for example. Um, a movie you saw could activate a dream. We all know that. We've all watched some dumb movie and then why was I being chased by an octopus with tentacles? Oh yeah, we watched The Matrix last night. Okay, so that was influenced, right? So like the dreams can be influenced. And then yet what you're describing, which is a flying dream, okay? That you had the keen awareness, first of all, that you remember it in the first place. What made you remember your dreams? A lot of people can't recall any of their dreams, or recall is scant.
right.
So
I felt like I was still able to fly. When I woke up, I still felt like I had this ability to fly. And it's a dream that I could I tried, but it, it
I
didn't really
fly a
work.
lot in dreams, and I find that in a dream, when flight occurs, it means only one thing with certainty. I can't, I don't want to say I understand everything about the dream world because it's a pretty weird place. I think we all agree dreams are weird and unexplainable in it's prophetic in a way, some of it. But when we fly, I have the belief that in that moment you became lucid. Okay. So you, for a moment, realized I'm having a dream. This isn't real. You
Mhm.
might not have thought those exact thoughts, but your soul knew, right? Your inner knowledge of your being in that moment knew, I am having a dream. Boom, you detach from the body. Why? Because you are not bound to the body in the dream world. You can swim underwater. You don't need to breathe underwater. Why? Because you're not really underwater. Where are you? You're in a simulation of sorts. I think that's kind of what I don't mean a computer one. It's kind of like being jacked in. I like the Matrix with the analogy of dreams. It was the closest to coming with, especially how they can fly in the dreams. And how and in the last Matrix, not to digress to a Matrix uh, explanation. I do like the series. The last Matrix, only Trinity could fly. Okay, did you see Matrix 4? Only Trinity could fly. There's so much symbolism in that. To me, the person who flies is the master. And
Mm.
so if you're confronted in the dream world with, let's say, a unpleasant thing, dreams are often unpleasant for people. Like some people, when I say I teach you how to lucid dream, they're like, no thanks. I'm like, why? They're like, oh, my dreams suck, dude. Every time I remember anything, it's bad. Dreams are often bad. And I have children, they sleep right over there. And occasionally I hear them having one, it's like, and even my dog, I have a dog and he suddenly bark like something's happening, like dreams have this, well, they're prophetic. We can be revealed incredible information, but we can also be attacked or um, drained would be a better word because we're talking about Qi and Qi Gong. And as you do Qi Gong, is your light body gets brighter, which is a real thing. My app is called Light Body Activation. So I really believe we have a light body. And so as your light body is getting amped, people tend to dream more. That's normal because this is your dream body. The light body is the dream body. They're the same body. And so a lot of people, if they are having, let's say you have a nightmare or a reoccurring bad dream, people don't like to talk about that, but that happens. And if you face your opponent in the dream world, it's not only like fighting, really, it's like flying. If you have, let's say, a wolf or a bad person in the dream and you fly, right? Now you're lifted, you cannot be injured. This is really metaphorical for not only the dream world, but perhaps like a spiritual world after this, where we are going to need to learn kind of an energetic self defense. And so lucid dreaming is not only about, oh, I want to hang out at the beach today and have a dream about being on the beach, or oh, I want to try to contact like my grandmother or something. Right? My grandma comes to me in dreams sometimes. I don't want to contact her. She tells me stuff and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm not like trying to reach people or have a certain dream. But what I think all of us, you, me, we all want to work towards, can we even remember our dreams? A, are you remembering? B, better than remembering is like, are you remembering while you're dreaming so that you can kind of fly around, look around, not be scared in your dream world, right? And then the third thing is when you fly, you always remember everything. It's like when you're flying, it's like it's like this Zoom is recorded right now. We're recording this meeting. Something in the body, when you fly, you remember everything. Why? It's because your soul is recording. And all of this is, so I just try to teach people how to remember and then how to become aware that they're dreaming. And of course, there's some techniques that help with that.
Okay. Do you feel that it can open up? My father has talked about this opening up or letting you enter in other dimensions.
Well, I mean, I believe that we are going to another dimension when we sleep. There's no question. I've been to other worlds and I've seen, buildings and flown through them, and you can't fly through a building in this world. So I'm pretty sure it's another dimension. That's my theory. So when you can fly in and out of buildings, you're kind of in the fourth dimension. Where is that? What is that? I don't know that we know. I just know that when you do Qigong and you do breath work, and you, especially if you do it passionately, you start really raising your vibration up, you're probably going to have more dreams. And so
Mhm.
then it just becomes good. Like, okay, I should learn about dreams. Yep.
Yeah, that's really, really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to that segment so much. And I know there's a lot at your conference. And when your 2015 conference, Dr. Mercola, that was your keynote speaker, he was actually my doctor years ago. I had rheumatoid arthritis and was able to put it in remission. And I was able to connect with him after so many years. And that was really powerful just to even be able to meet him and talk to him again. Do you have other practitioners, keynote speakers, presenters at the this Chi Revolution?
Well, this year we're bringing in a Navy veteran, Eric Gutman, and he is going to be showing us Navy SEAL stretches that he
Oh,
says took away all the pain from his years of service injuries that that he had. Um, and his story is pretty compelling as well. Um, Mercola is a real health practitioner. I think his approach is a lot of food and supplements, and he
Hmm.
works out and stuff like that. I would say Eric Gutman's approach is he's been doing Qigong since he's been in the back of these fighter jets, and like you can't even move in these cockpits, and he's doing Qigong back there, which is really like it's kind of an honor just to hang out with somebody like this. Everybody we've brought in has a different flavor. What I like about I stretch a lot already. I feel like stretching is such a magic bullet. Like you can lift weights and you can do things, but if you don't stretch, you're gonna have a host of problems. And here's this guy who's literally probably knows more about stretching than even myself. And so I always try to pick somebody like I'm gonna walk away getting trained myself out of this, and I think everybody else will also want to learn what he has to share. He's a cool guy.
Great. Yeah. And I know you incorporate a lot of food as healing into the Chi Revolution as well, right? And that's what I did with Dr. McCall. I changed my diet radically and food became such an important part of my life. And, it's put my RA into remission for over 20 years now. So
Congrats.
thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I
but I know
think
you
that
incorporate that too.
food's a big thing. Uh, I I teach a protocol for like longevity, right? That's
Mhm.
assuming you don't have a serious ailment, right? And of course, I go over that in detail. But I think we all need a balance, right? To give people something to take away. I teach different protocol if you have diabetes, right? Or a different protocol if you have cancer, right? A different protocol for RA, for sure. Arthritis has its own protocol. It's quite different. But all of them I think we do best on an omnivorous diet. Okay, so I'm not into a carnivore diet. I'm not into a keto diet. Those diets are shown to actually cause renal kidney failure in clinical research. It's really obvious that that's not a longevity diet. But I am a higher protein person, especially as I've gotten older. I find that I do better on higher protein. I don't take any protein powders. And for the most part, I don't take any vitamins or supplements. And my hair
Oh,
still is black. I
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
dye it.
you
Yeah, no
and you're
hair dye.
100 and you're 115.
Oh yeah, I'm 115. Thanks. I'm gonna turn 49 soon. But I do
Fantastic.
think that the vitamins are being heavily relied on now. Like,
Hmm.
not to, talk smack about anybody in particular, so I won't, but I would say half of these health coaches out there, health authors are suggesting massive amounts of supplementation. And I'm like
Yeah.
the exact opposite. I have the philosophy and I have all these cancer reversing testimonials from hundreds of clients, and it's not with taking hardly any supplements, maybe a mushroom supplement, right? Like you might take some specialized thing that God made naturally, right? And then we
Right.
might concentrate that in a supplement, maybe a few things. But this
Mhm.
whole, like, if you look at these longevity conferences, like, there's a billionaire who's hosting one who claims that he spends more money measuring his biochemical wellness than any other human being alive. All these people are relying on like 40, 50 supplements a day. And I'm over here just laughing. How could this be God's plan?
Mhm.
Like, and then you look at the Taoist masters who lived 120, 150. There's Li Ching Yuan lived 250 years. I talk about him. You probably remember me bringing him up on a slide somewhere. These Taoist masters didn't take no vitamin D. Give me a break with your vitamin D. Eat a fish, eat
Uh-huh.
something that has vitamin D. So, like, this whole idea that we're going to get our nutrients from man-made sources, powders, shakes, bars. So when you come to my event, I feed you for 2 days. You won't have to buy food. I'm sure it'll be enough food for you. Um,
Great.
yeah, that's the way to do it is in fruits, vegetables. I like fish. I like animal protein. Eat it from good sources. But my message is be an omnivore. The people that get into these really limited types of diets, in my experience, they don't fare as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe that. And I think, I mean, when I was healing, I didn't take supplements. It was all with food, but I put a lot of, hours a day into making and preparing my food, but it worked and it's where I am today. And what led me to this practice and my profession.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, thank you. Jeff, I'm so excited about your event. I want to put up a slide so people can see it, and I don't know if you want to speak to more about it. I can see if I can share it. Should I go ahead and share it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah. So our next in-person training is at the Las Vegas M Resort. We chose this hotel because of their amazing food catering division, and the food production they're going to give us is unprecedented. We've never had an event like this before. If you're interested, check it out. Qigong.com has all the details, and this is be the one to go to, the life-changing event. It's right here.
That's fantastic. And you still have space to register?
Yeah, we've sold about 60 tickets. We're limiting it to 100 people, so there's like 40 left. Act now. I'm pretty sure it'll be filled by the time we get there. And to me, you know, Las Vegas is about the lights, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this is the inner light. So we will be amplifying the inner light.
Oh, that's fantastic. I can't wait to attend. And also your Light app, can you tell folks how they
Sure.
could what
So
that entails and how they
I
could
have an
sign
app.
up for that?
Yeah, sure. I we've always been keeping up with, different ways of sharing our Qigong programs. We've used to have CDs and DVDs, and then there was online links, and now we have an app, finally. So proud of that. All you got to do is go to the App Store and type in Light Body. If you type in Light Body, it'll come up, and you can try it out free for 7 days. And, we feel that we have the best meditation, breath work, Qigong techniques. It's all on the app. Um, and of course, this in person training would be the most direct route, giving you the fastest results.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, everybody, I hope you attend the Chi Revolution conference with me. I look forward to it so much, Jeff. I think it's going to be fantastic, and I'm excited how you are evolving. Do you have any lasting words, or last words about your legacy or what you ultimately hope to obtain, or what you hope to leave behind with your work?
Ah, that's so deep. I feel that everything is a matter of degree, Sarah. Okay, so I mean the chi now. All right. So you feel the chi at a certain point, right? And then at a certain point, we feel it so beautifully, not just strongly, but beautifully, right? It's playing a symphony inside our body. That's what I want to give people, right? Because when they hear that music, when they hear the symphony of chi inside of them, the sounds that they make, the light that they produce, you're free at that point. You've eaten from the tree of life instead of just the tree of knowledge, because the tree of knowledge is just like blah 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 blah. And then you eat from the tree of life, you're seeing it, you're feeling it, you're tasting it, you're free.
Mhm.
And that's what the chi mission is, helping people to be free and healthy, independent of all these pharmaceuticals and the plan that they have for us. Isn't the plan of the chi? The plan of the chi is to go all natural.
Yeah, that's so true. Um, well, thank you, Jeff. I think that your work is so important, especially in the world today, where there's so much chaos and uncertainty. And there's a lot of suffering in the world, and I feel that you're bringing so much light to the world. And
Thank you.
and really, it's sincerely, it's wonderful. And in this show, a little bit of magic. I We believe that healing, connection, and transformation are always within our reach. And you have today beautifully reminded us of that. So thank you so much for being here today.
My
I look
pleasure,
forward.
Sarah, and thanks for having me and helping to spread the good news of Qi.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the conference, and I hope all of you attend. Thank you for being here, everyone, today. Please reach out if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to talk with you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Jeff. Thank you.